Hey, how did it feel in the heat out there, Emma?
It felt great. The air conditioning works. It felt slightly dry and a tiny breeze, but really no complaints. I was very, very impressed with it. I think it's going to lead to some fast races, and the track felt good. The crowd was loud, so it was a really good experience.
How do you feel like your fitness is compared to 2 years ago?
I think it's at least the same, if not better. I was in San Moritz and then dropping down to do workouts in Chiavenna, and I've never done workouts at sea level before. Chiavenna is 1,000 feet, and was able to, do some really exciting stuff that I'd never been able to attempt. So in practice, so I feel ready. I feel healthy, and I think everyone feels fit. Everyone feels ready, but I know I've prepared the best I can.
You've been trying some different strategies in the Diamond League this year. What have you learned about yourself running those races?
I learned that I'm pretty tough, and I can handle more than my past 9 years in the sport. My habits that I developed of just kind of even splits with a slight negative split the last kilometer, that was my comfort zone, and I learned going outside of that I can mostly handle it. Zurich was 2:53, and then my last 300 meters was a terrible death. But I've definitely pushed myself mentally and physically to places I've never been, and I feel ready. And again, like I said, I know everyone has prepared very, very well for this, and I think if you were to ask anyone in the final, they'd say they're the fittest they've ever been too, so we're all ready.
What's going to be the best way to beat Beatrice in the final?
A championship race, as we saw in 2017, anything can happen, and that sounds so cliche, but it's true. And I think I'm just gonna, try my best and just be ready for anything. And I don't have an answer necessarily to that, how to beat her, but I'm just gonna be ready to face whatever happens.
She always goes out hard. When you went out hard, what did you learn from that you can apply?
I went out hard at Prefontaine and was successful there. I went out too hard at Zurich and wasn't successful. So I do think I learned that my body can handle a few different ways, but not always. And she ran hard with rabbits, and so we'll see what happens in the final. If she goes out her first kilometer in 2:50 by herself, then we'll see what everyone else decides to do. But I just really have to be ready for anything, and all eyes are on that podium.
Can we get to see a sub-9 from you in the final?
That's been my goal for 2 years, and my goal in the final is to be on the podium. So I think anyone who's going to be on the podium and is in 8:55 to 9-minute shape, but I'm not going to be staring at the clock. I'm going to be shooting for the podium.
What's it like coming in as a reigning champion?
It's no different. I mean, I'm used to having expectations for myself. Since 2015, my internal and external expectations were to be on the podium, and so that hasn't changed, and being the reigning world champion is great, but that was 2 years ago, so a lot has changed in the women's steeple. I've changed and improved as an athlete, so it's a really wonderful title and a wonderful memory, but it doesn't affect anything going into the race.
Can you compare the conditions on the track to another track?
It felt like most Diamond League conditions, honestly. Any nighttime race that we run in Europe, it's kind of what it felt like. It wasn't cool, but it was a little humid, and very normal.
Like Stanford at all?
No, Stanford's cooler. I would say, oh gosh, I can't even say, like some warm years in Zurich maybe is similar to how it was. But yeah, it's just humid, but in there it is, as I said, also dry. I don't know. It felt good. I was impressed by it.
You spoke about Beatrice as your coach. Does it make any difference to your thinking before a race that you might be up against 3, maybe even 4 Kenyans?
That's kind of been the story in the women's steeplechase. It's had a lot of depth coming out of Kenya, whether it's athletes that are still competing for Kenya or Kenyan-born athletes, and so it's been that way, and it doesn't really change my approach other than there's more women vying for that podium spot, but I think there's probably 6 or 7 women that are vying for that top 3, and some Americans, some Kenyan-born athletes, and we'll see what happens. Anything can happen.
How much extra confidence do you draw from what happened in 2017 when you weren't expected to be able to do this?
I'm not a I get confidence from my work and from my workouts and from my, the recent year of racing. So it's a fun title, but it's not changing anything with my confidence or giving me a big ego going into these races. I just know I have to prepare well, which I did, and come focused for Monday.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank you.
guys.
Thank you.